Hello, it's Amanda Green here, and I'm going to be talking about something I'm very passionate about and also affects you, regardless of who you are or where you are. This will 100% affect you and all the people that you know. And that one thing is emotions. Emotions are perfectly normal. We have a huge spectrum of them. Nobody is immune from them, and they have a huge impact on our health, on our physical health, and our well-being, and how we navigate life, essentially. So there's no escape regarding emotions. Things happen in life, and we feel emotions all the time. So they also are the thing that drives a lot of our behaviour and informs our choices. I've made some notes here because there's a few key points that I want to get across. Now, interestingly, my notebook is in forest green, one of my favourite colours, because colour also affects emotion. And if we didn't feel things like passion, literally nothing would ever be created or invented, or a lot of stuff just wouldn't get done, because we need that passion, don't we? We need that drive and that fuel for life. So that's just one example. And we feel emotions come up when we're going through any sort of periods of change generally, and sometimes that's exciting for people, and it's the feelings of that sort of anticipatory excitement. However, there are also changes that bring up lots of other kinds of emotions that are more fear-based. So we go through a range of emotions through each stage of parenthood. I am a mother and my daughters are getting older. My eldest daughter is now driving a car. So that brings up certain emotions for me, changes in my lifestyle. And other things can bring up situations like any kind of endings or beginnings, whether that's relating to work situations or friendships or, other relationships. Interactions with people bring up emotions, conflict, or the potential of it. Also, you will see people and yourself experience a range of emotions sometimes when you're driving, doing the simple things. Old trauma brings up lots of emotions that have been suppressed, and that can happen at any time because linear speak isn't, emotions are not linear. Basically, they have their own timelines and their own level of energy. Also, new situations can bring up certain emotions inside us, and difficult challenges definitely, and big things like death, etc. That brings up a whole plethora of emotions. But whenever we're dealing with a situation, fixing the situation is one thing. I mean, there's a lot of situations you just can't fix, so then we must deal with the emotion. Yeah, so fixing and problem solving and all that stuff is brilliant, and I'm a huge fan of it, and it feels so good when that happens. But the other part of it is working with the emotions that are being brought up in that situation, and sometimes they will feel very new to us, and sometimes we will recognize that this is actually a pattern, and a lot of that is some change that we could impact within ourselves through understanding emotional resilience and regulation and emotional intelligence. So there's no point judging emotion either, because should doesn't work with emotions. So you can't say, I shouldn't feel as bad as this, because it's a physiological response. It's not going to respond to that same level of logic. And the fact is, you are feeling that way. So should is irrelevant. And it doesn't help. It just makes people feel more guilt or shame then. And what's that? That's just layering on more challenging emotion on top of the one that's already existing. So we're not meant to deny that emotion for ourselves. And we build resilience in anything in life through having the experiences. The most resilient people are the people who've gone through the toughest challenges, because we don't learn through theory alone or pontificating about something or thinking about it. We learn by experiencing it, and that's the same with emotions as well. So over the years, I've had some extremely difficult challenges that have really pushed me, really tested me, and so I have been in the height of anxiety and in the depths of depression. And if you are in those places, my heart goes out to you, because certainly the latter was excruciating, and if you haven't experienced that before, you just won't know what that is like. So actually having those experiences for me has given me real lived experience, which I think is one of the best things you can have from anybody who's trying to help you with anything, because you can't talk about this stuff and really help people if you haven't been through it. So in a way, I'm grateful, which is a positive emotion, for those experiences, and it's made me become deeply curious again, which is another invitation of feeling, to find real solutions, or to really work with these situations, these emotions, so that we get better at managing it, basically, which makes us better teachers, even through leading by our own example, which definitely makes you a better parent, and it most certainly makes you a better leader. It will also make you a better therapist and a better coach. Okay, so in terms of education, when I was like pondering about this, because I've been thinking recently about what I'm really passionate about, what I have the most experience in, and I love the work that I do with my clients around this topic. It is everything. It's life-changing. It's having massively transformational impact for people, which is awesome. So I feel called to share more of it. But when I thought about how do we learn about this stuff, really, because you would have to be exceptionally fortunate to have had a parent in the time frames I'm talking about, certainly for my age when I was a child, to have had a parent who was gifted in this area, because it's a new area, really. You know, it's still, emotional intelligence is still relatively new. So do we learn about this stuff in schools or the education system? I certainly didn't. There was nothing whatsoever. So I don't know where we learn this stuff, which is a bit of a worry, isn't it? So yeah, so that's the work that I'm offering, and I'm loving working with people. I'm very highly non-judgmental about emotions, because I've been through so many of my own, so emotions don't worry me. I'm very good at holding space for them. So if you would like to work with me one-to-one, please get in touch, because if any kind of emotions are coming up for you now that you would like to resolve, heal, then that we can do that. If you are interested in workshops for your organizations, then let's do that, because we can make it very fun, very exploratory. It won't be awkward for anybody, and it really does empower people in every aspect of their lives and their health and well-being. And if you think of any other ways I can work with you, then please do let me know. But those are my two specialities, are coaching and facilitating. So thank you very much for listening to this, and I hope you can feel a range of positive emotions today. Thank you.